Hello, Internet, and welcome back finally to Saturday Night's Star Power. This isn't a Saturday. This is a Wednesday, but we can pretend like it's a Saturday. Thanks for joining us for our off. Yeah, don't we all? Thanks for joining us for our off schedule session, our makeup session, as we're calling it, because we realized that this game wasn't going to be happening for like another 2 months or something after our last episode. So we wanted to at least have one in the meantime, try to work around the holidays, and we're here. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to talk real quick through our announcements, and then we're going to let my cast here introduce themselves, and then we will get going. So if you are watching us live right now, our next scheduled session will be tomorrow, which is Thursday, for Elegant Creatures. We're going to be having the premiere episode of our new show in the Elegant Streamatic universe. Stream-o-matic, something like that. But yeah, we'll be having our first episode of that. We're playing Urban Shadows, second edition, and it should be a ton of fun. So we're all very excited. Lots of good costumes going on. Come hang out with us for that tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll have our schedule should be normal through the rest of this week, I believe. No planned cancellations, that is, but this is a weird time of the year, holidays, all of that. So just stay tuned to our Twitter, and we can keep you updated on everything that is going on. That's pretty much it as far as announcements go. We don't really have anything super big or boring. I think the premiere is pretty much our biggest thing going on this week. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to my players. Let them introduce themselves, talk about who they are, what they do on and off this channel, and who they're playing here tonight, starting with Savannah, I believe.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Savvy. I'm at Savvy Seaworth on the internets, mostly on Twitter, where you can find my streaming schedule, soon to be updated, pinned to the top of my page. I am here when holiday schedules allow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, either playing in games or running them. I run on Sunday afternoons a Monster of the Week game. It's called Slaying 201. It's a long-standing show on the channel. I'm very excited to get back to it this weekend. I missed it the last week. And then Dungeons and Dragons on Monday for the Forgotten, where we're playing War of the Dragon Queen. And then Sunday nights I'm on twitch.tv/lbhackemup playing Masks, but not for the next couple of weeks. We had a little bit of a holiday hiatus, but then we're going to come back in January and do superhero stuff. But tonight I am playing Piper, who is the brazen professional singer-songwriter, and who has an anima named Vega. And sometimes I do the voice of Vespa.
RJ.
Hey everybody, I'm RJ, and you can catch me at rjustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life and sometimes stream with my pals. You can catch me on Mondays over at the Indoor Adventures channel, where we do a homebrew D&D 5e campaign. We're finally facing up against the Raven Queen, and we have separated her evil half from her good half, so that's gonna be great. Thursdays, of course, what Val said, I'm gonna be over here playing our Urban Shadows campaign. It'll be great. I'm excited. I've got my costume all ready, and it's gonna be good. Saturdays, I think it's Mistborn this week, right? Yep, we're gonna be over there. I play Zakir, who is a Khandra, doing their best to keep their contract without hurting any humans. Finally, on Sundays, we are doing another 5e campaign over at the Hype Goblins channel in the AM, and on the PM, we're playing the Witchlight campaign back over at Indoor Adventures channel. I play a tiefling rogue named Vice, and the smile never hits his eyes. Today I'll be playing Feng, and his anima is the Four Emperors. Sometimes I voice Omega when he gets scared and wants to be baby.
Next up is Sid.
AOA. I'm Christina Sid. You can find me on the Twitters at GreekSid, generally just talking about shenanigans. Yeah. Very excited for premiere tomorrow. Elegant Creatures, the elegant stream-o-matic universe. It was Weiss's, and they have reminded us to chat. Thank you, Weiss. The elegant stream-o-matic universe, the MCU. MSU, if you will. I can't spell. It's fine. Even on good days.
It's not the other one.
Nope, it's not. Excited. Should be a blast. What's gonna happen? I don't know. That's my secret, Cap. I never know what's going to happen, but my players keep coming back for it and say that they like it. So, we just go with it. Yeah, it's gonna be great. So check that out, 8 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. But tonight, I am playing Penny. Penny is the tech wizard member of the Isa family. Her anima is Omega, and sometimes I yell out lyrics for Vega.
And finally, Danae.
Hi, everybody. I'm Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. You can also find me at Danae Keener on Twitter. I'm going to be playing as Vivi today, whose anima is Vespa. I, on occasion, voice Black Tortoise, who is one of the 4 emperors. And I am also in that Monday game that RJ mentioned. I'm also in that Sunday game that RJ mentioned. That is the 4 Keeps and Witchlight. But if you go to my Twitter, you can see the schedule and see all the things that I'm up to.
And I am Val. You can find me at the Kraken's Crown on Twitter and Twitch. I am here Thursdays through Mondays, except for this week where I'm here on Wednesday as well, where I do all sorts of stuff. I run 3 games on this channel. Neon Souls on Friday, where we also play Fate in a swashbuckling sci-fi universe. On Saturdays, I run alternating from this game usually. Saturday nights Mistborn, and we're playing the Mistborn RPG based on the novels by Brandon Sanderson. God, Weiss is just redeeming all sorts of stuff in the chat. It's making me nervous. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm here playing in games and stuff and facilitating the chaos. That's all I've got right now. I'm just gonna be narrating this game, your facilitator of crime, if you will. Y'all ready to get started? Alrighty, let's get into our recap. Let me do a little bit of... let's go with some relaxing piano music. Previously, on Saturday night's Star Power, Daddy's home. Penny's father returned, Paul Isa returned home from business. Penny and her father spoke briefly, though he seemed preoccupied with the Isa family business, asking for details on Moxie's visit and for Penny to keep him updated on what Moxie is doing in town. Stephanie called Vivi, who noticed a drone hovering in the backyard spying on your group. Stephanie threatened to expose your crew with footage of your rampage on the Las Vegas Strip unless you turn over Aurora, who had previously committed crimes against Stephanie. You came up with a plan to bring Aurora to the Platinum Star Casino, but to use the opportunity to kidnap Stephanie using Moxie's power and find out what Stephanie's connection to the Phantoms really is. Before going, Penny confronted Moxie on her motives, and Moxie promised to tell Penny what she knows after dealing with Stephanie. You took Aurora to Stephanie's office at the Platinum Star and learned a terrible truth, that Stephanie is being controlled by one of the Tribunal of Phantoms, Vulcan. And as that fight is currently ongoing, that's where we're gonna go ahead and pick up here. Get my dramatic music going. So as things currently stand in this room, I'm pulling up my aspects chart. You're in Stephanie's tiny, cramped casino office. the door has been blocked by Piper, who has thrown a desk against it, I believe. Stephanie, or Vulcan, controlling Stephanie, is only in use of one of her hands, as the other one has been bound behind her back with the fuzzy pink handcuffs. And Stephanie has been blinded by a blast of light. I'm trying to remember who did that last time. Nobody's claiming it, so I don't remember. She got blinded at some point.
It has to be somebody with like light powers, right?
Oh, I slammed my mask into her face and then
That's right.
flash banged her.
Right. You discovered that Stephanie has a metal spike in the back of her head currently, that you noticed, and one of the things you realize is she's being controlled by Vulcan. And yeah, currently everybody is in this room, including Aurora, except for Moxie, who was waiting outside for the go signal, which I'm trying to remember. I think somebody sent last time. Did somebody text Moxie during the last session? No.
Yes, but literally as shit started to go down, Penny was like, abort, need out, help.
Okay. All right. Then that is where we're going to pick up. Vulcan has just attacked. I'm going back to my turn order here, which puts it to Aurora, who is still kind of has been told to stay out of the way, is now cowering kind of like in the corner, looks very anxious right now, very like traumatized by this whole situation. Clearly the first time she's been in any scenario like this, and is just shaking with fear. And at that moment, you all hear sort of a well, actually, I'm gonna do this. Feng, you've been impaled by one of Vulcan's spikes, and you feel this this force taking over you, and all of you sense this sort of like distortion in the room as sort of fading into existence, sort of like shifting through the door and appearing in the room on her turn, is Moxie, who surveys the situation very quickly and says, "Oh, we still go." I assume this will probably be to Piper, who is mostly addressed to Penny and Piper, who are the ones in the back and not being mind controlled.
Will that fit in your panic room? Like pointing your thumb at Vulcan, Stephanie, all vulcanized. Is that it? Vulcanized is what you do to rubber, right? Anyway.
Sure.
Probably.
Then yes.
Okay, so you want Moxie to try to take Vulcan and Vulcan alone out of this room?
I'm sorry, it's been a long time since we went over the plan. Because taking all of us was going to hit a limit for her. I do remember that. Yeah.
Vulcan Stephanie is one
entity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm just referring to Stephanie as Vulcan.
Okay. Just making sure. Yes.
Yes.
And we'll deal with Feng.
Okay. Then Moxie is going to, I guess I'm going to frame this as an attack.
Sorry, Danae's face.
All right, so
she'll take Stephanie / Vulcan, and then we'll murder Feng. It'll be fine.
No, Ma, I'll do it. Fang's my responsibility.
Oh no, do not old yeller me right now. Fuck you. No.
All right.
It's fine. This is
and
fine.
then
Don't worry about it.
Vulcan's so Stephanie rolled a 4. Or sorry, Moxie rolled a 4. And I'm gonna have Vulcan contest this with fight. Oh, Vulcan rolls an 8. So that was a very bad roll from Moxie, very good roll from Vulcan. So here's what happens. Moxie just says, all right. And I don't think she's fully aware or figured out the situation yet. Just sees Stephanie attacking and doesn't really know what's going on or who this is right now. So she goes sort of zooming up towards, like in a blur. She just disappears from sight straight towards Stephanie, or who she assumes is Stephanie. And I don't think Vulcan was holding on to anyone at this point. I think had just stabbed Feng. Is blinded right now. But even with the blind, you see these scorch marks across her eyes, which have been sort of burned shut almost. You just watch as her head kind of twitches to the side, and she throws up a hand and just catches Moxie in the middle of the air, her hand crushing around Moxie's throat. And Moxie stop, her glasses falling free, and you see her like dark, sort of abyssal looking eyes with these flecks of light sort of widen in shock. And Vulcan sort of turns her head towards Stephanie, and you hear her say, "Ah, there you are. I was wondering when you'd show up." And Moxie just sort of is like choking under the force of this grip. So what I'm going to do for Moxie here is impose an aspect or a condition on her. Consequence, I want to say, I should say Vulcan grip. Vulcan death grip. All right. That is Moxie's turn. And that'll bring us to Penny.
Well, hell. Okay. All right. So I activated my maximum overdrive last time. I didn't fully invoke it. Correct?
Which one was yours again?
Wrinkle in
Time
Time.
Cage? I think we did
Yeah.
Time Cage last time. I don't
Okay.
have a free invoke, so I think you might have used. I think the free invoke might have been used last time. But you can invoke it again if you want.
But I also have a free invoke from chat.
Oh, well, there you go.
So, yeah, let's try that again. I'd like to freeze her in time stasis and make sure she doesn't actually move this time.
God, we got another invoke in chat. Yes. Well, so you can go ahead and roll, and we'll see if you need the invoke.
Okay.
So, did we do this as a shoot last time? Since that's kind of what we
Yes.
put your attack. All right. Shoot then.
Okay. Pew pew.
Vulcan will defend.
Okay. +2, no, minus, so +1. But +4 is a 5.
Okay, so you're using the invoke to bring it to a 5?
Oh no.
Or no,
that's
that
just
5
my
is straight.
shoot.
You're +4. Crap. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot your shoot is that high.
My shoot real good.
All right. So Vulcan also rolls a 5.
I will use the free invoke to bring it up to a 6. No, what would that bring it up to? Because I'm a +2 to the max overdrive now.
That bring it up +4.
So I'm at an 8?
Yes. No, 9. You're at a 9.
9.
Okay. Well, crap. I think how many fate points do you have left? 2. Okay. yeah, I think they're just gonna have to take it. So it's a 4-shift hit, so I'll mark one of the physical stress boxes. And actually, no. So you specifically wanted to do this to cause a consequence, right? To freeze Vulcan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do I do this? So I think the way it works is that you can reduce the shift of your hit to create a boost for yourself or create an aspect.
Okay.
Boy, I've got rules on here.
Rules on rules on rules.
You have the option to reduce the value of your hit and gain a boost. You can reduce the value of your hit by 1 to gain a boost as well. So we could reduce that hit to a 3, and you can create your boost of to slow down Vulcan. Only you will be able to. No, actually, no. It can be used by anyone during the scene. Right? It's just transient. It can only be used during the scene. So,
Okay.
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so they will mark a 3-shift hit as describe like the visual of this.
I kind of like almost frozen in a block of time ice. Just the almost not quite translucent, not like 50% between opaque and translucent. Omega just sort of covers her in this like grayish bluish cloud, and she starts to freeze up a little bit.
All right, I'm marking the
Drops your
boost.
frame rate.
Oh yeah. Frame rate's getting real shitty. You might have to refresh.
All right, I'm marking down the boost on the sheet. So boost is Vulcan is slowed right now. All right, that was a pretty nasty hit. So as Omega whelms over Vulcan, you watch Vulcan kind of slowing down as Stephanie's head kind of turns towards the rest of you. That would be Vivi's turn now.
All right. So Vivi is under the consequence, right place, wrong timeline, which is to say that she got the shit slapped out of her so bad that she's fluctuating, at least from her vision, between her past and what's occurring right here. I think I recall the way that we described this is that she's in that field with the bee boxes, and occasionally just things from like what is actually occurring flickers into the field and then flickers back out of her reality. From everybody else's perspective, she's just like looking confused and disoriented. Is she able to actually see the nail sticking out of the back of Feng's head?
So Feng doesn't have the nail in his head. Feng's just been impaled, like I think in the abdomen with some of the spikes, which I think probably broke off. So it just has like these jagged bits of metal in his abdomen right now. Yeah, I'll say you can see everyone in the room. They're just in this field now, sort of flickering in and out. So yeah, you can see the metal that is currently sticking out of Feng's gut. You can see it in Stephanie's head. She is her back to you still, has that. Kind of peeking up from beneath her hair, you can see that nail.
Okay. I think it's Vivi's instinct to try and pull the nail out of Stephanie's head then.
Okay. All right. So I think the way this will work, I guess this wouldn't really be an attack. Unless, how are you framing? Just like grabbing it, pulling it?
Yeah, essentially, well, grabbing it and pulling it, but like specifically with her bee scarf, which is her, like, you know, the source of her strength. I have a stunt called All Together Girls, and it's to use will instead of physique to overcome roles representing feats of strength.
Perfect. That sounds exactly like what you need here. So yeah, you can roll using will
Right.
instead of your physique.
And I I think I'll also invoke my mosaic shuffle aspect and spend a fate point for that.
Okay. You can wait until after the roll if you want to
I
wait to that, but
I want this to work. I'm doing it.
cool.
So I have to roll with will, which is a +2. So I'm hitting this. And I basically get a +2 to this roll as well. All right, let's do this.
Okay.
I got a 5, so +2 is gonna be a 7. So
It's very good.
Invoking the mosaic shuffle, it's just like glitching forward and like forming and unforming herself out of bees, just like appear on like Stephanie's shoulders and then just like grab that nail and yank.
Okay. That will actually, I think that brings you to a +8 because you get an extra +1 since that's your overdrive ability. So
Oh heck yes.
yeah, so you get a so that would make it to an 8. So Vulcan will roll. I guess this would be, I think fight would just be the best thing to defend with here.
Yeah.
I can't think of
tracks for me.
Okay. God, that's a lot of dice. Go away, dice. That's a 2.
Oh.
Let's see. The most I could bring that up to with the fate points that they have left would be a 6, which still wouldn't be enough. So yeah, I think she's just gonna lose this one. So the shifting bees, maybe sort of disappearing and reappearing, and then went on Stephanie's shoulders as you grip your hands on this nail and begin to, like, with your fingertips and like little bees swarming around you to help like push even further, you grip onto the nail and then just yank it out of the back of Stephanie's head. As you do, other than the sickening kind of crunch and meaty noises of ripping a nail out of somebody's brain, there is a moment where, when the nail is in your hand, that you just feel this force kind of wash over you as you are in contact with this metal, and you hear this voice in your mind sort of compelling you, and the voice of Vulcan, kind of unfiltered through Stephanie, speaks through you or into your brain, and says, "You will pay for that transgression, mortal." And I think maybe instinctively you just drop the metal, and it clambers to the ground in this field of sunflowers that you are currently think that you're standing in. And Stephanie crumples beneath you as you just collapse down on top of her. So that is Vivi's turn, which brings it perfect to Feng.
Hey, how's it going?
Feng,
Yep.
you hear the same voice in your mind that Vivi just heard, as the metal pierces you and you feel this like burning, like fire through your veins, taking over you, and this voice just barks an order directly into your brain, says, "Bend to my will, mortal." And I'm going to need you to roll a contested will against Vulcan.
Alrighty, Roo.
Uh,
Oh no.
It's not good when RJ's happy about these kinds of things.
I laugh
Alright.
when I'm nervous.
All right. That's an 8.
That's a 2.
Then I'd call that a success on my part. You have a consequence currently. I'm gonna give you at God, given that failure.
Would it be a severe? That would be a severe, right?
That would be a severe consequence. Yeah. So I'm gonna give you a severe consequence on that. Well, I guess you can reduce it. Okay, I'm trying to remember the rules here. You can reduce it by taking a shift of it. This is an attack to your will. So you get to decide how you mitigate that, but that would be a 6 hit.
I'm going to wait. What? Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna pip off my 4 in will and get a mild consequence.
Okay, then we'll make that a mild consequence. So you can, and what would make this consequence? I think compelled would probably be the best one because you are not controlled right now, strictly speaking. But you feel yourself being compelled by this force that has now infected your soul, essentially.
How's Moxie looking? Real quick.
Moxie is okay. She has been released from the death grip, but is now coughing and kind of trying to gasping for air on the ground right now.
I think Feng's gonna just clutch at his abdomen, look up to the rest of the group, look over to Moxie. Moxie, you have to get everyone out of here now.
We can actually kind of take this out of combat, I think, for like any sort of round initiative order, because Feng succeeded or was able to mitigate that, so it didn't lose full control there. And Moxie kind of sputtering, I'm sorry, you want me to do what now?
Get everyone out of here now while I still have control.
Looks at the others. What do you all do?
Should we take that out?
The shrapnel in my abdomen?
Well, you took the out of her, and then that. I thought it might help.
Penny, it's shrapnel. There's a lot of it.
Okay, plan B. Piper's gonna rear back with Vega and just sock Feng right between the eyes, try to knock him out.
Okay.
He didn't like that plan, I'll do another plan.
That's a plan. Feng, what do you do?
I think instinctively, 4 emperors come out to defend with fight.
Okay.
That's being called Plan B.
Okay, I guess we'll do a contested fight roll between the two of you.
I'm missing one of my guys.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, there it is. I don't think my fight's very good. Alright, I've rolled a 2.
Okay.
Hold, please.
Holding.
Try to see if I have anything for this. No, that's for defending. How to make number higher?
Oh. Oh. Huh.
So if I invoke an aspect, it's +2.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do a couple here to make this one work.
I will give something for this too. because actually I think this sort of fits with what's going on. Since Feng is using, I'm going to compel against Feng, against your compel. We need to change the name of that condition because there is an aspect of this game called compelled. Maybe we'll say infected. Let's go with that.
Rusty.
Rusty. Tetanus.
I just need a booster shot, guys. Come on.
Roof! Rusted!
Rusted.
I'm gonna compel against that when 4 Emperors manifests, you feel that burning in your abdomen where the shrapnel is, like the very essence of Vulcan inside of you is fighting against you reaching or using your anima. And when 4 Emperors sort of manifest, you see 4 Emperors armor has like this rust that is running along it right now. Like 4 Emperors has also been corrupted.
Aesthetically, I'd like to add that because Feng wears the 4 Emperors like armor,
All right.
and it's typically like one suit at a time. When he's infected, it is an amalgam of their armor, almost like bloated in places.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, the armor is wrong. It's fucked up. So that'll reduce Fangs to a 4. Piper, what are you doing?
Can I invoke Vega's extremely loud and incredibly close?
Yes. You can.
With my free invoke that I have from the chat. Thanks, chat.
Yeah, you can. So yeah, you can do that.
So I'll make it a 4.
Okay. You also have a free invoke for cage match right now.
Yeah, I was just looking at that actually. Which would make it a 6.
Okay. Utilizing the close, Fang doesn't have anywhere to run here, essentially. Okay. So Vega manifesting sort of behind you, overlapping with you, massive robotic fist forming, and like there's this subwoofer like knuckle duster that appears on it, and just punches straight into the armor of Fang, and you watch this already weakened kind of armor like shattering under the blow, and Fang, you feel this like uppercut come straight to your jaw, and you go tumbling back. I'm gonna say rather than giving you, I won't. Here's what I'm willing to offer here is, do you just want to take the consequence here of being knocked out temporarily, and that'll clear at the end of the scene?
I have something funny if it's a moderate consequence.
Because you could take the stress and this could keep going, or we can resolve it. So
if I can take it at a moderate consequence, I can spend a fate point to do Phoenix Tenacity. Once per session at the cost of a fate point, you can reduce the severity of a moderate consequence that's physical in nature to a mild consequence. If your mild consequence is free, or you can erase the mild consequence altogether.
Actually, this would be mild because this would only be a shift 2 hit. I used the wrong language. So do you still want to do that, or do you just want to take the knockout right now so we can
honestly I think it's like Piper knocks him out, and then like just there's a burst of fire as the Phoenix comes out to try and heal him.
So maybe this will, but we'll say this is long enough for y'all to maybe get him out at this point. You can go with that.
Yeah.
Mifa appears. It was my pleasure.
So Fang is knocked out just long enough for, I guess, Moxie to get the 5 of you out of here, leaving Stephanie's corpse.
Oh shit, yeah. That's what happens when you pull a nail out of the brain, huh?
Oh yeah, you look, she's dead. She looks, and not like recently, she looks like she's been dead for a while.
Should we do
probably
something about that?
Take the corpse. Yeah, we probably don't want to leave it here after we were the last ones in the office and that whole thing. So, yeah.
I think that's what Vivi's been distracted with this entire time, is that she's trying to figure out what exactly is reality here, and she's just standing in the middle of a sunflower field with Stephanie's corpse in front of her, just sort of like, huh.
Vivi's just in Midsummer right now.
Yep.
Oh no.
Vivi is in Paprika right now.
Oh no.
Ugh.
Oh, masculine and all. Jesus. It's the only way to fly. Woo!
All right. We'll move
Penny
this
will
forward.
attempt to, like, just under both armpits and just, like, drag the corpse with us.
Weekend at
Okay.
Stephanie's.
Oh, no. Damn it.
Guys, somebody's dead.
Actually, what I say? I think I said that she could only take 5 people with her, didn't I?
You said 6.
Is Stephanie people now?
I said 6.
You did specifically say 6 was the max, but that would
6 was-
basically knock her out. And then, but is
Okay, yeah.
Stephanie a person,
Is
or
corpse-
is she just luggage?
Corpses? Are they people?
When she said
She
6
carry
people,
on.
she means size of 6 people. She can't bring people and infinite objects with her.
A mountain is an object.
Mountain aren't people. No, we're so I think this will
You
be
ever
enough
tried to
to
talk to
sort of
Mountain?
knock her out.
It has
God
his
damn it,
voice.
I wanted
all-
to talk to you, Moxie, damn it.
You sing with all the voices of the moon?
Can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
You watch as Ion appears and sort of spinning around the room for a moment. All of you feel that same lurch as you're like halfway shifting between the office and Piper's apartment, which is where you're going, right? For the panic room?
Yes.
Okay. There's like that halfway transition point, and then suddenly you're just like ripped into Piper's apartment. Vivi, I assume this is the even stranger experience for you as you're in 3 places at once, essentially, before you're in a Piper's apartment.
Okay, right. Piper's gonna go to the end of one of her hallways where it looks like there's a linen closet. Pop open a like panel on the wall. I don't know. It's probably a code or something to get in. Open the door. Panic room.
Do you want the dead body in there?
Well, I don't really want it on my kitchen table, so
I'm just worried that, like, if like Feng wakes up, basically if anyone's able to create more of those like spiky things.
you're right. Great. Okay. Guest bathtub. We'll put Feng in the panic room.
Got it. Okay. Drags the body toward the guest room.
All right, you stick Stephanie's body in the bathtub.
Yep.
And you put Fang in the panic room. Just as Fang, that sort of fire, like that's sort of blazes over him like flash paper almost, and Fang begins to stir.
Everybody okay? We all... No spikes, no nails. Anybody hurt? Vivi, are you here on this plane of existence?
Like pawing around on the ground, and she turns and she sort of looks at you, and there's like this glassy look in her eye, and she says, "We should find that nail."
I think it's probably still in Stephanie's office, which seems like a bad place for us to go back to.
We're not there anymore.
No, sweetie, we're in my apartment. Are you high?
She like looks around. I don't know if I'm in the right place.
Would you like some water?
Okay. She'll just sit down, put her arms around her knees. I think from her perspective, like even Vespa is weird, because like Vespa is like these cute little like round cartoon bees, but I think in the sunflower field, Vespa is like the actual six-legged honeybee insect.
Okay.
Penny will go into Piper's kitchen and get her a glass of water.
Feng is gonna just run a hand over where he's been stabbed. Can he feel like the shards in there still, or?
Yeah.
Hey, Penny, pull the whiskey out.
Okay.
And Vivi is now like sitting. I want to picture the room. So Piper's apartment. Penny is like on the floor, sitting with her hands over her.
Vivi, yes.
Vivi is on the floor with hands around her knee or arms around her knees.
We all feel that way, though.
Moxie has like collapsed onto the sofa and is like rubbing her temples like she is completely spent right now. And Aurora is just pacing, arms crossed, just like pacing back and forth near the windows, just muttering to herself in a panicked hush.
Aurora, close blinds, please.
Right, blinds. Yeah,
All of them.
Blinds. She like looks at the window for a few times, trying to like figure out where the thing is for the blinds, and like pulls on them a couple times and like yanking, then realizes she's pulling the wrong one, and finally starts lowering the blinds.
Fine, she's got something tangible to focus on. Penny, water, whiskey. We're gonna need it. Fang's probably also gonna need it. Fang, honey, are you alive?
Yeah, I think so. Where am I?
Panic room.
Great. What happened?
You got blasted.
Stephanie's been dead for a long time.
Yeah, she's in the bathtub.
I think the Vulcan person, phantom thing, was possessing her with the spike thingy.
Good. Okay.
So, hey Feng, are you possessed?
Feng waits a beat to see if he can still hear Vulcan.
I don't think it's like so much a voice right now, but it is just that continuous burning, like you are fighting against this force that is trying to take you over.
They are still trying very hard.
Good. Okay, Vivi. What did you do to Stephanie to unpossess her? You just pulled the nail out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Vulcan was controlling her through the nail. Did I kill Stephanie?
No, I think
No.
she was already dead.
She's been dead for a really long time.
Okay.
Like
that's
probably like a couple of weeks at least.
Folks, you're muttering. I can't hear anything.
Bang, how easily removable would you say your whole shrapnel problem is? Just like on a, I don't know, scale of 1 to 10.
Is it like a clean like yank and jerk?
Like a few, okay, well, let's not call it that.
Well, it was
At least buy me dinner
weightlifting
first.
reference. I'm sorry. What?
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 Considering I think my skin's healed over it, this will be a bit tricky.
Is it like a couple of pieces? Or is it like a lot?
I don't know.
How do you know? Okay.
Do you consent to surgery?
Done by a professional, sure.
What about Penny?
Does she have an MD?
We'll get
Maybe.
you really drunk first.
Jesus fucking Christ.
No offense, bud, but I'm not taking your ass to a hospital where you can be possessed and kill a bunch of people.
No, that's fair. That is fair. I'm just worried that if I go under, I lose control.
Okay, so local anesthetic then.
No, I'm not
Field surgery.
You're like weirdly excited about it.
That was Sid more than Penny.
You're
but,
like
yeah.
weirdly excited.
Sid is, yes, absolutely.
Okay. They do it on TV all the time, right? It's not like it's a tracheotomy. It's fine.
No.
Just cutting out some pieces.
Actually, a
Not that big of a deal.
tracheotomy would be pretty straightforward. I'd actually probably feel more comfortable doing a tracheotomy.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just
go wrong
hope
in
we
this
don't
scenario.
need one of. Well, I've watched a lot of Grey's Anatomy
Okay.
and every season of House
Okay.
and more reruns than I would like to admit of MASH, if I'm being honest.
That's fair.
Side note, y'all forgot to turn on the lights in the panic room. It's very dark in here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go to the panel, turn on the light. There's a switch in there.
Like I can see in the dark!
Oh my god, it's not that big of a room. Okay.
Penny's gonna go back into the kitchen, look for the sharpest, smallest knife, a high-proof alcohol.
That's what the whiskey was for.
Oh, there you go. Well, I mean, I don't know what sort of bar situation Piper's got, but if she's got like some fucking Everclear or something.
I mean, probably.
Okay,
It's probably been sitting there for a while, but
highest proof alcohol, sharpest, Japanese like chef's knife, the whole shebang. They're sharp, okay.
there's got to be like some set in there that she like never uses because they're too nice.
Probably.
Oh my god.
And and then some alcohol for Feng to drink. And I guess so we're doing this. This is happening.
Are we everyone, are we positive that this is the best option?
Well, the longer it stays in him, like the more likely that he is to get possessed, I guess. Right. And I mean, I've read a lot about this sort of thing, so I feel fairly comfortable.
Okay.
Kind of quiet over there. Hello?
We'll be right in. Okay. We're gonna go take the shrapnel out of Feng.
Okay.
Have fun with that.
Yep. I will preface this with Penny will be using I've read about that. So she's gonna substitute lore.
It's good. I was probably gonna make this a lore roll anyway.
Oh, okay. I either way. If it's lore, cool. We'll just do that then. Yeah.
I was going between lore and crafts, because there's nothing really suitable for medicine, but I think lore makes the most sense here, given how y'all have framed this.
Cool.
Okay. So witches.
So Piper is gonna go, because it hasn't been listed in the things we pulled out yet. Is gonna go and pull out probably some like bandages or whatever that she has in her first aid kit.
Okay.
Some like gauze pads. She's probably a lot in there.
Yeah.
So to recover from a mild, because this is only a mild consequence, to recover from this, it'll just be a difficulty. It'll be a +2 roll. So,
Okay.
so you just have to roll a higher than a 2.
I'm knocking the shit out of some wood. Here we go.
Damn,
Suddenly, there's someone at the door.
Yeah, I was like,
Ew.
bork, 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 bork.
Bork, 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 bork.
I had an idea to make this even more stressful, but we're over it already.
Okay, so that's 2 nulls, a plus and a minus. So fuck all of those dice. But so that's 0. But my lore is a +3, so it's a 3.
Okay. Was there something you wanted to do, Feng, to complicate the situation? A compel, maybe.
Fang says to get the handcuffs from Stephanie. Just in case.
Block your anima powers.
Which would block the anima powers and the recuperating effects of Phoenix.
Yeah. Well, either way, she succeeds. So that would have made it a 3-shift success, which would be a succeed with style. So it probably wouldn't have put you in any danger anyway beyond what you're dealing with. So let's just go with the way that this was set up. So
Yeah.
Penny, you with Piper as your assistant, surgical assistant, you
Exactly.
you cut. You're able to remove the shrapnel as efficiently as you can. It hurts a lot.
He's just lying on his back. There's a bottle of Jack with a silly straw leading up to his mouth as he's being operated on.
Yeah. It's not pleasant, but Penny, you do a very good job of it, and you're able to remove your consequence, Feng, because it was only a mild, so that can just go away. Normally, if it was higher, it would just get reduced by 1 severity level. And yeah, a couple of stitches. There's probably going to be some scars, as I assume your that 4 Emperors begins to heal you naturally, sort of expedited by your anima abilities. But the shrapnel is gone, and you have a tray of bloody, jagged metal spikes.
Fang just sits up from the table. I guess I'm not going to the gym today. Huh?
Yeah, I would suggest you get on some serious rest for 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
We
I don't
should
know.
probably hold on to this, right? Like, look into it.
Probably put it somewhere where you can't physically touch it.
Holding it like a
Petri dish?
Wanted, yeah, I was gonna say wanted like a surgical tray. It's probably like a fucking Tupperware container.
It's a Pyrex.
Or something. Yeah, it's like a Pyrex glass container. I
I'll
won't touch it.
I'll get you some new Pyrexes for Christmas, I guess.
It's fine.
Oh, I see here. You rename it. Sorry, you keep the consequence. We rename it to show that it's in recovery, and then you can get rid of it when we do I think we do the mild,
At the end of the session stuff.
yeah. So we can just go with, I don't know,
Mending.
ending
Mending.
appendectomy.
Oh no.
Didn't have. Well, I'm gonna go take a shower.
Yeah.
Heads to the guest bathroom.
Don't use
There's
that
a
one.
Don't wash your
scream.
hair.
You can use my bathroom.
Wait, why shouldn't I wash my hair?
You're gonna stretch and pull your stitches out.
Oh. Cool.
If you want to keep your clothes on and just bend over the bath, I could wash it for you with a pitcher or something, but don't do it yourself.
Yeah.
As an aside, whilst amateur surgery is occurring, I want to say that Vivi looks up from where she's sitting in the field, and she sees a tree that has just a mound of bees on it, swarming. And to pass the time, she stands up, finds a bee box, and then just starts scooping bees into the bee box. And then like somebody walks by and Vivi's just putting Vespa into like a footrest, like one of those footrest box like baskets,
Like a storage ottoman.
Yeah, just like scooping Vespa into it.
Vivi, are you okay?
She like looks at Feng. I've got to find the queen.
England.
No.
I'm the weird. You know what? I had shrapnel inside. You're stuffing bees in a box.
Just from the couch, with her still rubbing her temples, Moxie says, "I think your friend hit her head too hard."
Yeah.
Ice.
Do you want some ibuprofen or something?
Please, if you don't mind.
It's fine. Fishes some out from somewhere.
I don't know if this was successful or not.
Well, we're not dead.
I don't believe Stephanie will be an issue anymore.
So here's the thing. Where did Vulcan go?
That's a good question.
Hello? Hello? Vulcan? I don't know.
Okay, good. Great.
It's possible that Vulcan was never here.
They were just able to, influence people through the spikes?
Possibly.
Then where is Vulcan?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Well, that means that there are phantoms that can possess people.
Feng, how are you feeling?
Just peachy. Ow.
And when you were shish kebabbed,
Not as peachy. It felt like I was on fire. Felt wrong.
I guess best guess that Vulcan was controlling Stephanie remotely through the metal and then attempted to do the same thing to Feng.
Great.
Shit. Fuck.
What did she say about that this was our fault? What did that mean?
I thought she was just being a bitch.
I may have something to offer there.
Is it tomorrow yet?
What time do you have? $12:01.
Technically, yes.
Right. I suppose, strictly speaking, this is technically your doing in some way. Though I don't believe fault lies with you.
What? Vulcan is our doing?
Technically speaking.
What does that mean?
You haven't remembered yet.
She said that too. That we
Hey.
didn't remember something.
Moxie. A little less cryptic. A little more respect for how time sensitive I feel like this now is.
I don't have an easy way to explain it. I was hoping you'd remember on your own.
You could at least start.
Did we all get hit on the head?
No, not... Well, I'm not sure. It's a lot to explain. I assumed that I remembered all my... In my near-death experience recently, I had a vision, you might say, or, I don't know, an out-of-body experience. I assume it has something to do with our family and our control of time, but I saw something strange. Something is wrong with our reality. Like, it isn't supposed to be the way it is.
Like this is the worst timeline?
Maybe not the worst. I don't know. Ion's powers let me see time in its, I suppose it's fractured state, and I became curious as to why that might be. And well, I encountered a phantom not long after that. I captured it, and I interrogated it. And it seems to be that phantoms, or whatever they are, some of them are under the impression that this isn't their world, that they're not supposed to be here. They become more agitated recently. I can't quite explain it. But one of the reasons for the creation of this tribunal, I suppose, is to make order from that. And some of them are under the impression that you four are to blame.
What did we do?
Are you familiar, Penny, with the Black Zodiac?
Is this Penny familiar with the Black Zodiac?
You probably would be, but you could roll lore to see how much you knew.
Sure.
But is that a difficulty for you? Probably a difficulty 2.
Okay. 3 plus a minus is a 2 plus lore is a 5.
So yeah, you'd be familiar that long ago, back when your family was first founded, yada yada yada. This is all information that I assume we all remember at this point. The Zodiac was a powerful anima user and created others like them. But as the legend goes, they were destroyed, defeated, when they were about to be locked away forever due to the planning of your family, yours, Feng's, and the Constantine family. That some powerful anima users rose up and defeated the Zodiac. And since then, the families have lived in relative peace and been able to maintain their own business, and things went well from there. That they set up rules, monitored for these phantoms, which began appearing not long after that, and began the work of training and assisting anima users that popped up over the generations, and use them to fight the phantoms as they began to appear in larger and larger numbers over the centuries.
Blech. So not the movie with Jake Gyllenhaal.
No, not the movie with Jake Gyllenhaal. No. As the legend goes, that these anima users appeared, fought the Zodiac on behalf of our family, and vanished.
I just thought it was a legend.
It's not. I have reason to believe that those anima users are related to you somehow.
Well, they were from our families, so that makes sense.
Moxie, sort of wincing, reaches into her pocket, pulls out her phone, hits the screen a couple times, then slides it across the coffee table to you. And on the picture, on the phone screen, is an image, like a scroll, a papyrus with a drawing on it that is crude, but depicts 4 warriors. Each one with a anima silhouetted behind them, and they look eerily familiar. See, one has this like mask or sort of visor on their face. A woman with some sort of strange facial covering has this big, dark, black void sort of behind her. Another one sort of slightly shorter with this this armor of yellow and black that is surrounded by this swarm of locusts or insects around her. The third is a heavily armored figure, or masculine figure, with the clear distinction of the armor of the black tortoise that is sort of bolstered around him, and the last one, a woman with this sort of very like bright pink hair, cat ears, and sort of a feline sort of presentation to her. Has like paws of a cat as well, and has a big sort of robotic looking anima behind her with this like musical like sort of distortion around it, like waving lines and stuff.
I recognize these four. It's the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
I mean, that could be pestilence.
Nah,
But I don't think the other ones make sense for that.
no way.
So this wasn't like a premonition or like a prophecy. Like this is
No,
who was there.
This is who was there and defeated the Zodiac.
Is this a joke?
It's not.
Are you messing with us?
Not in the slightest.
Okay. Because this is some real, like, Power Rangers shit.
I don't have an explanation for it. That's what I've been trying to learn. I assume that at some point in your lives you will or have used Penny's powers, abilities to control time, perhaps? It's the best explanation I could come up with, given Isa's lineage. All of us have some control over time.
I can stop it. I can freeze it and move it back a little bit. I've never. That would be like a millennia.
I think we'd remember.
I was hoping you might, or perhaps this is your future. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. That's one of the reasons I've been investigating this tribunal, because apparently they remember things. These phantoms, they exist outside of space and time as we know them. They come from well, we don't really understand where they come from, but somehow they remember, they know. And the most powerful among them, the oldest among them, seem to understand what's going on, and they seem frightened by it. As I said, as things have gone on, over the years, the Isa family has kept track of the growing numbers of phantoms that have appeared, and we have swelled in numbers to counter this. But it's worse now than it's ever been. Phantoms are appearing exponentially more frequently. Something is happening, and I don't know what.
But you think a picture you have of some weird ancient drawing proves that we're involved. That doesn't look anything like me, also.
Well, it proves one thing. Is that for whatever reason, your father, Penny, is working very hard to keep this information secret. I didn't find this in the library.
What do you mean keep it secret? He knows?
I might have broken into a place that I wasn't supposed to be to look for information. This was in your father's personal storage facility.
Where is that?
I can show you.
Is there more stuff like that?
A lot more. And he's not the one that's been curating it himself, obviously. This has been ongoing for decades, if not centuries now. The heads of the Isa family have worked very hard to keep this information secret.
We're going.
Piper gets a text on her phone and a alert from Venmo that she's been sent $50. And the text just reads, "Can someone get me some clothing, please? Feng."
Fang needs some new clothes.
Oh.
Right. Perhaps it'd be good to get some food, some fresh air.
And go to Target for some clothes.
We're not going
Sure.
to Target.
It's 12:30 at night. What else is going to be open?
Walmart.
I'll find something.
You can make people open their stores with your face.
Some of them, yes.
Okay.
When is this? Hold on. I have a. This has really been eating at me. Do have a question before we move on. This is like a papyrus type deal. How old is this? How old is this thing?
I'm not an archaeologist. I'd assume several thousand years old.
Okay. We can assume it's not like an ancient Egypt thing, right?
Perhaps. Why?
Because they'd be worshipping me? Hello? Cat ears? Pause.
Perhaps. Perhaps you're all worshipped as deities in some
I've seen the
circles,
mummy.
But... Right.
Fang just walks out of the bathroom. "Hey, Penny, could you help me with my... What did I miss?"
A lot.
Vivi.
You want me to help with your hair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I assume you're still sitting on the floor?
I think that she's like listening to the conversation because like she could still see her friends, she can still hear them talking.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're gonna rectify this at some point so he doesn't have to go through the rest of this this campaign having no idea where she is. But you're still like, it's like flickering out. You recognize the talking, you know where you are, but also what you're seeing. And I think the sunflower field around you sort of solidifies a little bit more. And you see a figure moving through the field of sunflowers, like a shape pushing through the sunflowers, like just out of sight, and like moving through the rows of stalks away from you.
All right. This ended the dream before, so I think she stands up and walks after that figure. She's got less urgency this time. Like last
Yeah.
time she was trying to chase it down, but like for some reason she has a feeling that it's gonna wait for her.
Okay. You all watch Vivi stand up and begin to walk out of the living room.
Vivi? Where are you? Okay.
Vivi, you watch the door. You watch the figure as you move through the cornfield. You emerge at this farmhouse, this old looking home, and you see, just as you emerge from the field, somebody sort of slip into the front door of the home.
She's gonna go through the door.
Okay. Vivi just walks out the door of the apartment.
I'll get her. Vivi? Vivi?
I'll go with her just in case.
We'll wash your hair in a second, Feng.
Yeah, I'm just gonna drink, I guess.
Oh, okay. That sounds like a good plan.
Vivi walks out of the the apartment and turns, walking down the hall. Vivi, in your mind, you are in your home, and you see the figure slowly like disappear around the corner into the kitchen, and you follow them. There's a couple like people in the hallway that are like coming home from drinking, and they like Vivi just like walks, like bumps right into them. You see them look sort of irritated, and one goes, "Hey, stop it!" And Aurora just says, "It's all right. She's had one too many." What's she doing?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think she realizes where she is.
Right. You see Aurora, who's Moxie, sorry, not Aurora, Moxie, who's very exhausted, sort of like leaning against the wall and coming up, following behind. She says, I hope she doesn't go too far. We might have to restrain her. But Vivi, you turn the corner and you stop as the figure is in your kitchen, sort of facing away from you out the window. And you see, I'm trying to think how best to describe this. Yeah, no, let's go with this. You see somebody with dark hair, dressed in sort of modern clothing, like you're used to, sort of standing there. What do you do?
I think confronting this figure, she just says, "Who are you?"
All of you hear this, or I guess Penny and Moxie hear this, unless I know you stepped up for a bit. I assume Piper's staying back in the apartment with Feng, or is she following as well?
She's probably gonna stay with Feng and Aurora.
And Aurora, yeah. So you hear her say this, so she's looking down the hallway, and there was somebody else that was like putting their trash out in the hall, and they looked at. She said, "Is she talking to me?"
No, she's had a couple drinks. Don't worry about it. You're fine.
Right. Oh, okay. Ducks back in, closes the door, and you hear a latch lock. And Vivi, in your mind, you watch as this figure turns around, and you see Penny standing in front of you. Except, well, different than the Penny you know. She's not wearing glasses. Well, I guess this Penny that you know is a little bit sour faced a lot of the time. Her expression is a bit more, looks sad. And she turns and looks at you and says, "Hi, Vivi. I assume you don't remember me."
I think, just sort of confused, she looks around the building and she says, "Are you Penny?"
Yeah, but I'm back here. I'm not over there.
Yeah, you hear like Penny's voice in the back of your mind, like she's behind you, but you don't see her right now.
Yeah, I think she like turns around and looks past her, and then just looks back at the empty air in front of her.
No, I'm not Penny. Though I could understand your confusion. I guess you could call me Miss Persimmon?
Sounds fake, but okay.
It does. But that's what you would know me by. Or that's what Penny might know me by. It's hard to explain, and I'm not really sure how long we're going to be able to have this conversation.
I have a pretty good memory.
You and everyone else, you're in a lot of danger right now.
Really?
More than you might realize. I can't help you right now. I tried to. Something. My connection with Penny is broken, damaged. It's hard to grasp. I tried talking with her and it didn't really. And you watch as her form kind of shifts and shudders in front of you like a video buffering. I don't have a lot of time. I think you're fading back. You're running out of time, Vivi. You're out of time. You need to make sure the others understand that.
I don't even understand.
And she begins, like, her voice is sort of being aside, like you see her speaking, but you're only catching over every other word. She says, you out of time. Constantine. Zodia out of time. And then she just disappears.
I think she just takes a deep breath and pinches her forehead.
And as you're like, you pinch the bridge of your nose and you look up and you can see out your window and you don't see the sunflower field. Instead, it's like pure black outside, like it's night. But there's something shining out there, and you move to look out the window. Everything is sort of beginning to like fade away around you, and you see this brilliant, shining like beacon in the night in front of you. It is this tall, like glowing golden pillar. This obelisk of pure gold, just out in the middle of this expansive, dark abyss. And then you're standing in the hallway again.
She like blinks back to consciousness, turns around. I think that glassy look in her eyes is gone. Penny.
Yeah, Penny.
Why is it always you? It is always you.
What did I do this time?
I don't know what you did. I don't even know if it was you. She just sort of like starts moving past her back towards the apartment. We're out of time.
Before that happens, I want to cut away for a second to what's simultaneously happening at the apartment. Feng, Piper, Aurora still back there, and Aurora, who's been like quiet the whole time, still fidgeting with the blinds, something like lets them go, turns back around, looks at Piper. What?
I think just probably hands her like a scotch glass with whiskey in it. Like, just drink that.
You know I'm not old enough to. Oh, okay. She takes a sip of it. Ugh. Hate liquor.
Calm your nerves.
What is happening?
I don't know.
Is this the sort of thing that you've been doing?
Well, strictly speaking, no.
Yeah, this is new for me too, honestly.
That was fucked up.
Yeah.
There was a zombie attacking you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zombies aren't supposed to be real.
Aurora, a lot of this stuff isn't supposed to be real. That's why I wanted you to stay away from it.
I can't do that now, can I? I'm like in it now. She drinks more of it, then winces.
I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. Okay?
Shit. Piper.
What?
The body's in the morgue.
What about him?
Didn't they have metal in them?
Did they? I don't remember.
When you were at the police station, they had found some bodies with nails, and then that looked like the nails hadn't been the cause of death.
Fuck.
We need to...
You need to stay here.
Alone? Me? Him? Me.
No, both of you.
Yeah.
Okay, both of you. Both of you need to stay here. You, because holy shit, you shouldn't even be involved in this in the first place. And we're going to keep you as far away from it as possible. And you, because you might bleed out and die. Or something. Shit. I gotta call what's his face. Stay here. Please. I'm begging the two of you. Don't do anything stupid.
Okay.
All right, fine. What's the address to your apartment? I'm gonna Grubhub like a shit ton of ice.
It's fine. Just gonna drive by, make sure everything's okay. I'll be right back.
Fine.
As you leave, Aurora nursing the scotch that you poured for her, and Feng slower and slower bleeding out onto your couch.
He like goes to the little bar area and grabs like a Midori sour recipe, mixes that for Aurora and hands it to her.
Thank you.
Do not get drunk.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that.
I'm gonna level with you, Aurora. Ever since I got these powers, I can't get drunk.
God, I hope that's not the case for me anymore. She keeps drinking. Piper, where are you going?
I guess, where's the morgue? In the hospital?
Police station, right?
The police station?
Probably update everyone else about this.
Wasn't it? I don't...
Which?
Because we went before and I don't remember. It's been so long.
I think we got our fingerprints and then we snuck into the morgue in the police station
I thought it was the hospital.
because we distracted someone.
And what are you looking for there? Because my brain is not connecting.
I
want
to go to wherever those bodies with the nails in them were being
I don't think
kept.
we've actually seen the bodies.
don't
I
think
think we
you've seen them.
heard
Don't-
about the bodies
Oh.
from the police station.
So I guess...
okay.
So probably the police station.
Yeah, I guess the police station
Okay.
then if we haven't actually seen them. I remember going
You're
to the
talking about, like,
morgue, but I think that was for a different reason.
Yeah. You're talking about like going to the coroner and like or the
Yes.
CSI. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that was season 1, actually.
Yeah, I don't think you ever saw the bodies. You just heard the police officers talking about them.
Season 1 where we were getting what's her face a new body,
Oh,
Yes.
the one that
yeah.
could possess people.
Yeah.
We did go to
Pluto.
the work then. Yes.
The timelines, they're
They
overlapping.
They really are.
Don't know when.
We don't know
anything is
anymore.
happening. I don't know if we know about that, which I feel like we do, because I wrote it down and I wouldn't have done that for no reason. So I guess the police station, where maybe the coroner works out of, or maybe the coroner's office, wherever that is.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you head out of the apartment, catch the elevator down, and get on your motorcycle
Mm-hmm.
and head over to the police station.
Zoom.
Okay. Piper's left the building. Feng and before you guys aren't aware of this yet. You guys are down the hall and stuff. Because Piper is left, we cut over to where we left off the other scene. Vivi kind of going to push past back towards the apartment, makes the comment about out of time.
What are we out of time for? What do we need to do?
She just turns around and laughs at Penny. I don't know.
Then why did you say that?
Why do I do anything? She heads back into the apartment. She's like, was that parchment real?
Okay, you're heading back to the apartment with Penny and Moxie. As you do, the other elevator that Piper has gone down dings, and like a small crowd of like college students comes filtering out and like pushing out into the hall, and you're kind of pushing through them. The three of you, as Vivi, you're asking this question over your shoulder back towards Moxie, and you hear the footsteps retreating, and you hear kind of a coughing sound, and you turn back, the two of you, to see Moxie kind of fall against the wall and begin to slide down, leaving a trail of blood up the wall behind her. And you see a very large sort of pool of blood begin to form across her stomach. And as you look down the hall, you see one of the college students sort of look over their shoulder, smile a little bit, and then duck down the hall in the other direction and hear heavy footsteps retreating.
Freeze them, motherfucker!
Okay. I had to get up another character sheet here.
What the shit?
Penny goes on the attack. Vivi, what do you do?
Fuck. Penny's on the attack, so there's no one to look after Moxie. Vivi's gonna try to apply pressure to the wound.
Okay. Yeah, you kneel down, begin applying pressure to the wound as Moxie is fading pretty fast. There's a it looks like she's been stabbed by a sword, almost like it is a big, nasty cut. And she's just kind of looking up, like dazed. Her dark eyes kind of, you can see them looking back and forth, and she says she's kind of in shock a little bit. She says, I didn't even see them.
Moxie, look at me. Look at me. You need to teleport to the hospital, okay?
I can't. I haven't recovered yet since bringing you all here. Penny, go in and roll shoot. Ba-doop, 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 ba-doop.
4 fucking pluses, motherfuckers! Plus 4. That is an 8. Penny's
Okay.
pissed.
What's she gonna roll here?
Ah.
Yeah, I don't think she has anything to roll for that. Let's go with. God, why does it keep bringing up so many dice? That's only one die. Don't do that. It's a -2. All right. So that's you rolled a 6.
I rolled a 4. I rolled
Okay.
all 4 pluses plus my 4 of shoot, which is an 8.
Okay, so it's a 10 shift hit. All right, it's gonna take. Guess we'll have to take a severe. All right. Go with. Time break. All right.
Time break.
Yeah, you blast them with this as they go streaming down the hallway as they disappear, as they begin to vanish from sight, and you hear just this shriek of pain as you feel Omega connect with them. What? I guess, did you want to reduce that to get a to actually invoke the boost or to create the aspect to have them slowed?
Let's say this. Feng had said, like, hey, take the handcuffs off and put them on me before we do the thing. Can we just say that we grabbed the handcuffs? I would like enough of a boost to get to this person and fucking put the handcuffs on them.
I will say you did learn in the last fight that the handcuffs don't work on phantoms if this person is a phantom. Actually, here's what I'll go. Instead of having this be a hit, if you just wanted to freeze them, we'll just call that an overcome, and you've frozen them instead of making this an attack. Was your instinct was not to hurt them?
Not to hurt them, but to make them stop.
Let's just
so
go
that
with
we
that
could
instead.
catch them.
Let's go with that, and then you succeed with style, so you get an additional. I think you get 2. 2 free invocations instead of 1. Okay, cool. Let's go with that. They are frozen at the end of the hall at this point. Feng, you've heard this from the hallway. Vivi, you're trying to stabilize or keep Moxie alive. What do you do, Vivi?
Sort of like medicine check, is there?
There's not really. I went for lore for medicine. Just kind of the all-encompassing knowledge.
Got nothing in the way of lore, but I'm all she's got, so...
Okay, I'm gonna put this... she was very badly off. I'm gonna put the difficulty of this at a 4.
Okay. See if I can... I'm trying to see if I have any aspects that I can possibly tag for this. Wrong place, right time. I just happened to be here, and like just immediately able to put pressure on the wound. I think that's all I can do is essentially just lean on Vivi's luck.
Okay. So go on a roll. We'll see how the roll turns out, and then we can have that aspect. So I need to take the other aspects off the...
I've got a... Well, hold on, I gotta hit the actual... Yeah, since I don't have any... Is that the fate die? Is that the hex at the end of thing?
Yes.
Okay, I'm rolling. That's a 1 plus a 2 for the aspect I'm tagging. That's how it works, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so it puts you at a 3.
That gives me a 3, and it's just shy of the 4.
Do you have any fate points?
What's that?
Can you burn a fate point for like a reroll or?
It's 2.
How many fate points do you have left at this point?
I have 3 fate points left. I can.
Oh wow.
I've got room to play, baby. I did a lot of tagging, or I got compelled a lot last week.
You did, yeah.
So like, what can I do here? I can spend a fate point to reroll.
You could spend another fate point to reroll, or you could invoke an additional aspect if it felt appropriate.
Okay. Could I possibly invoke Avaricious Thief for hire, and say that I've received like first aid training
As a thief?
as a thief? Or eidetic amnesiac. I just heard about first aid in passing, and I have a perfect memory, so I remembered it.
Did Vivi in the previous timeline ever have any she do work in any medical setting?
She totally worked at a hospital at some point. 100%.
Secretary, but like,
Well, I mean, like, there are also...
they need people to shuffle people, like patients around from appointment to rooms, you know?
And there are also jobs that you take that require you to take first aid, like, training.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
Lifeguard, babysitter, like, it didn't even have to be, like, full-on nurse that, like, requires a degree.
Suddenly, like, this memory comes to mind of being at a pool and being like being like a lifeguard outfit and receiving like a CPR training course, and like having this like train. You've no idea where this memory is coming from, but you're just remembering this medical training that you got for a job you've never had.
Why do I suddenly feel so manic and optimistic?
Okay, so that'll bump you up to what, a 5?
Yep.
Okay. So
not today, Moxie.
I'd say this is enough to you're able to stabilize the wound enough that she is dying slower. You've given her more time.
She's doing all of the steps, like she's going through like the list of everything, which includes identifying a person in the crowd to actually call 911. The only person here is Vespa, so she's like, Vespa, do me a favor, sweetheart, can you call 911? She's got both her hands occupied, she can't do it.
I gotta hear the Vespa 911 call.
Vespa, sort of like snakes down, I guess, and like takes Vivi's phone out of her pocket, like plops it on the ground, starts hitting buttons.
I imagine bees just jumping on the buttons.
It's 4 or 5 little bees, just like
it's like I like it's like 1 bee. 9 1
Be got this. Hello?
911 operator, what's your emergency?
So I'm imagining one of them is at the earpiece and one of them is at the like the speaker, and so they're sort of relaying. What did you say?
They've got a hive mind, it's fine.
Oh, that's true.
Someone's been stabbed.
Immediately like transition to think this is a kid on the phone. Sweetie, okay, where are you right now? I need your address.
I assume heard the address earlier, gives the address of the apartment building and the apartment number.
Okay. Now, who is it that's been stabbed?
A friend of ours. Her name's Moxie.
Okay. Is she... Where's the injury?
General abdomen area.
Okay. Sweetie, I need you to make sure that you get an adult and have men put pressure on the wound. Make sure that...
we got that part covered.
Okay. Make sure her head's not elevated. Okay. Get her legs up. I have a Ambulance dispatched. It should be there in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
All right. I'll stay on the line with you. I'll talk you through this, okay?
Okay. Vivi, put her legs up.
On it.
All right. You get
We
Moxie.
need an adult.
What's your name, sweetie?
Carol.
Carol. Okay. I'm right here with you, Carol. Okay. Starts just talking, trying to keep Vespa calm, assuming that she's in shock.
This could have gone so wrong if you said Susan B. Anthony.
I think Vespa thought about it and was like, no, fake name, fake name. We know this. Who's Carol?
Carol.
Okay. I want to do, before we get back to Piper really quick, I want to see what Penny is doing. You have this figure frozen at the end of the hall. You're trying to hold them in place. It takes a lot of effort. Vivi is currently triaging Moxie, but Moxie's in real bad shape right now.
Can Penny fucking, like, body this person over her shoulders and drag them back to the apartment?
Here's what I'm going to give you. They're frozen in time.
Okay.
I'm going to say that given the nature of your ability, like, freeze, it's not like they're paralyzed. They are, like, frozen in place. I don't know if you could necessarily move them in the traditional sense.
Can she donkey punch them in the back of the head several times until they are knocked unconscious?
Okay. Okay. Trying to figure out how to rule this within the rules of this game. Just making shit up.
Yep. That's how we do.
All right. Essentially, what I'm going to do here is you have your invoke. We're going to roll this as a fight check. Because you're trying to maintain concentration on this effect while you're attacking them. You do have the free invoke from that.
Okay. So the free invoke, if I need it, would give me a +2?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my fight is a +1. Okay. So that's 2 pluses and 2 nulls, which is a 2, plus a 1 is a 3.
Okay. Defend this. That's a 5.
Can I use the free invoke to match them?
Yes, you can. On a tie for an attack, you don't cause any harm, but you gain a boost. I don't want to do this within the narrative here.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is what happens. It's a high stress situation. They are, yeah, this is what I'm going to do it. You move close to them, kind of trying to maintain your hold. They're fighting against this. This is a very powerful entity that you haven't controlled in your field right now. You move up to strike them, and as you do, like, you realize as you move to punch them, like, their body isn't exactly where you expect it to be. Like, you breach this illusion. You make contact with something, but that something starts to move as you do. And you see this figure sort of wheel around, kind of slower. I'm gonna say the boost here is that they are still kind of slowed down, but they are no longer like frozen. And you see their eyes sort of flash white for a moment. as they glare back at you. And then you see this, there's this sort of kaleidoscopic effect in front of them as their body almost seems to fragment into several forms, like the light is bending around them. And suddenly they've shifted down the hall. They look like frightened of you, almost legitimate, like, or like wary of you at this point. And here's what I'm going to say. And your boost here is that they are slowed down as they are still continuing to try to run from you. And I'm giving Penny this choice. You can pursue them to try to finish capturing them, but you're exiting the scene with Moxie right now. You're not going to be able to help Moxie.
God damn it!
From Vivi's perspective, does she think it would be useful to have Penny come over here and stop time so she doesn't bleed out?
That would probably help.
Yeah, I think Vivi will literally just yell, "Penny!"
Just points down the hall. Fuck you! And then I'll go back and fucking help Moxie. God damn it, motherfucking.
Can I just add to the comedy of the scene?
Sure. Because that's what this scene needs. Comedy. As Moxie is dying.
Yeah. Feng opens the door expecting like the Grubhub driver to be there with like the shit ton of ice, looks down the hall. Holy shit!
Oh, it's the pizza box with everything on fire.
Oh boy.
Penny will attempt to stop time so Moxie doesn't bleed out.
Okay. Since you had the boost and stuff, I'll give it to you that you've maintained some hold on this effect that you're going, and you're able to like slow down Moxie's time stream as you hear sirens begin to approach in the distance. But I want to traverse over to Piper, who has gone off on her own. Piper, unaware of what's going on, assuming somebody will eventually call her, you arrive at the Las Vegas, whatever I said this district was, police station.
I think is initially just gonna like kind of take a look around. There's no like cars on fire in the parking lot. There's no like zombie apocalypse chaos.
No, it seems fine. Seems fairly quiet here. The lights are on inside, obviously. There are a couple of patrol cars in the parking lot. You can see an officer at the reception desk inside.
Okay. I had a cop friend. I'm looking for his name. Hold on.
Oh boy.
Darren. Can I go inside and see if Darren, my cop friend, is there?
Okay. Well, I don't have Darren's name. I have the other two officers. Okay. Yeah, you you head inside. Darren is at the front desk.
Surprise.
Miss Piper. Why are you? Is everything all right?
Yes and no. I mean, life gets pretty complicated sometimes, you know what I mean?
Do you need help?
I actually need a huge favor.
Okay.
So I heard some rumors, some gossip, some kind of talk around about some things that have happened recently. She makes a big show of looking around, make sure nobody's listening. She's gonna cut Darren in on the gossip. So those people that were killed, I know, super morbid. I heard that some of them had like nails and stuff stuck in them.
Right. Yeah. Actually, I shouldn't probably be talking about that. It's an ongoing investigation.
No, I totally get it. That's why you didn't tell me anything.
Okay. Thank you.
Are they still here?
Yeah, they're still here.
Nothing like weird's been going on.
I'm gonna have you roll rapport.
That's fair. Just showed up and said, "Hey,
Uh,
those dead bodies that are down there."
I'm gonna put this at a 3 difficulty.
Okay. Oh, duck. That is 3 minus 1, 2 plus 4, 6.
That's very good. Right. So, yeah. Well, there was one thing, and you hear kind of a throat clearing. As a door that was partially open, fully opens, that leads back into the precinct, and stepping out is a tall gentleman in a wearing some like brown slacks, white shirt, and kind of thin framed glasses and dark, shortly cut hair. You see Detective Johann Bach. He says, "We've talked about this, Darren. There's sorry, sir. It's all right. Piper,
Johann, right?
I see you remember me. Why don't you come on back?"
Goes.
Leads you back into the precinct. There's some like desk space here, computers, most of the monitors off, a couple on with like display screens of the Las Vegas Police Department logo. Steps in, looks around, sees that it's empty, and turns back. He says, "Why are you asking about the bodies?"
Something's going on, isn't it?
"I need you to tell me everything you know."
You first. Time sensitive information and all that.
Is Vivi involved in this?
Who?
A couple people showed up yesterday asking about the bodies. Federal types. They gave me this card. Hands
Let me
it,
see that.
takes out of his pocket, hands it to you. You see the AIM logo.
Yeah, don't call them.
I didn't really have much authority to refuse the federal government in an ongoing investigation. I tried.
What happened?
I was bounced around for a little bit, and somebody far, far above my pay grade told me to let them through. Senator's office. Are you familiar with Senator Constantine?
Heard the name.
Yeah, well, I got chewed out pretty good because of that. They asked about the bodies. They went to see them, looked them over for a long time. Guess they didn't find what they wanted, or else they would have taken them with them. But they did mention something specific. They said if anyone came around asking about them, to call them.
Well, good thing nobody's
Immediately.
come asking.
I could forget this conversation, but I need something from you in return.
Well, that's pretty forward.
I need you to tell me what the word anima means to you.
Okay.
I think reaches over, flips on a light to the conference room, motions inside, says, then let's talk. He leads you in, shuts the door, and as paramedics arrive up the stairs and begin to triage Moxie, who is not looking very good right now. She's whisked away in an ambulance to the hospital, while I assume maybe Penny rides with her as a family member, leaving all of you exhausted and probably confused. That's where we're going to end our session for tonight.
If there are any cops, which there almost certainly are,
There would be, yeah.
Vivi's gone.
Yeah, I
As
assume
soon
so.
as she hands it off to the medics, she's out of there, covered in blood. But she's
Yeah.
out.
Feng's cutting bags of ice over the tub.
For the body that is
the body!
as the police officers are interviewing Feng and Penny at the and Aurora at the scene.
Afterwards.
No, but I want this image though of like we get the like
It's hip
pan
thingy square.
through the wall as like an officer is talking to Feng and Aurora. Penny is gone with another officer in the ambulance and stuff, and they're interviewing you. We just like pan through the apartment and into the bathroom where there's the body of Stephanie is just laid out in a bathtub.
Yeah.
Dead for weeks.
I'm tagging my troubled. I'm doing it. I'm the one tagging my troubled pat. I'm compelling it. Everybody's blaming Vivi for this. The police think it was her. She's the one who did it.
Amazing.
Oof.
Yeah, we were just in here watching some TV and like I heard screaming outside.
Oh boy, this is going to be a lot to pick up next time, which I think will be in the new year for our next session.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Oh boy, y'all. Good stuff. Did I give you all a I don't remember if I did it last week or if I was going to do it this week to give you the the major milestone? Is that the highest one?
I think you said you wanted to finish the encounter.
Okay. That's what
Major
I
is the
figured.
highest one.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was going to give you because a major milestone should only occur when something happens in the campaign that shakes it up a lot. I think
Yeah, Major.
that's what is happening today. So yeah, y'all get a major milestone, which is everything from all of the milestones. So take some time to do that. But yeah, that's what we'll go ahead and call things for tonight. Good session, everyone. Let me put on some less ominous music. There we go. Yeah, so essentially that's our mid-season finale or year finale, end of year finale for the shows. We'll pick back up in January. Trying to think of anybody else. Does anybody have anything they want to promote before we head out?
Come watch whatever's gonna happen tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern. Elegant Creatures.
All new characters. All new game.
Very all new game. No one has played this game before because we have taken the Urban Shadows to a quick start and mashed it together repeatedly with our favorite parts of Good Society. It's
Now
gonna be
kiss.
great. Now kiss. Yeah, it's gonna be
It's
awesome.
gonna be a
Come
lot
check
of
it out.
fun. Yeah. Anyone have anything else? Cool. All right. Well, thank you to my lovely players. Hope you all had fun. Hope I didn't traumatize anyone too much. I got in some consequences today, which I'm working on doing more of as we go, putting on more danger. So yeah, we'll be back, I guess, on the 8th of January will be our next scheduled session, because I don't think we're going to be able to get in any other makeup games between now and then with the holidays and stuff. So thanks everyone for joining. Join us in the meantime for our schedule this week. Obviously our finale or premiere of Elegant Creatures tomorrow, Neon Souls on Friday, Saturday Night's Mistborn on Saturday, Slaying 201 on Sunday,
A new mystery,
The Forgotten on Monday, and then Tabletop Tuesday is Tuesday. So you got a whole lineup of shows that you can watch through this next week to enjoy before we head into the holidays, and we're gonna have some more cancellations over that week. So get them while you can. Regular schedule should resume come January. So bear with us until then. We very much appreciate all you being here, all the redemptions in the chat, helping keep my players alive and keep the story going. That's all I got. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Thanks everyone for watching. We will see you in 3.5 weeks. And until next time, good game and good night, Internet.